wait just till somebody pops up.
Boom. Ah, there you go.
All right. All right, I'm Steve from Infinite Training.
Hola, Michel d'Infinite Training.
And welcome to another episode of This Is Your Life. All right, so for today's recovery stretching day, you will need a foam roller. If you don't have a foam roller, n'inquiète pas toi, whatever. You have a ball. You can have a yoga strap. You can have a softball, which is very hard, or a sea urchin. If you don't have a sea urchin or any of these tools, we'll just figure it out. But I'm sure you have a tennis ball at home. We are going to go from lower body up and just join with us.
Aujourd'hui, ce qu'on va essayer de travailler justement, c'est les tensions dans le bas du dos. On est assis longuement, soit au niveau de l'ordinateur ou au niveau en avant de la télévision. Fait que Steve va nous démontrer des exercices, ben, surtout des étirements pour dégager au niveau du bas du corps et en remontant tranquillement vers les épaules.
All right, so just take 2 seconds and we're going to take 5 breaths just to center yourself and close your eyes and keep your eyes open, just to bring yourself into your body and to feel what's going on in your body. All right, here we go. So we're going to start with the feet. We're going to use a technique called active isolated stretching. So we're going to work with your toes. If you want, you can have your foam roller or a book or something just to create a bit of height on your foot. If not, just keep your foot up. And the idea of an active isolated stretch is that you give a bit of an active movement and then you overstretch very tinily. So just a little bit of extra on there. So we're going to start with extension of the toes, which will stretch out the bottom of the feet and work the extensors of the toes. So what you do is you, with your fingers, you go on the bottom of the toes. So you'll extend your toes and then just add a little bit of stretch. We're going to go just a little bit. Then extend. We're going to go for 10 reps. Extend, that's 3, and just put a little bit of over pressure. 4, good. 5, I'm using my fingers to get all the toes. 6, I'm going to go 10, and then you're going to go to the other side. You get your full extension, then you just add a little bit on top of it. If you hear it, it means you went a bit too far. 8, good. 9, 10. So the feet are a very neglected part of your body. Here we go. 1. You can do it also if you're doing this on your own. You can add, just do it the 4 toes at the same time and do this the big toe by itself. We pound our feet. We're always walking, hopefully. And the feet need attention just as well, not just the big muscles. 3 more, extend. You know, people have plantar fasciitis or heel spurs. You want to get blood flow. All right, so now we're going to do flexion. So we're going to go flexion, and then you're just going to do an overpressure on top. So,
Where are you going?
Michelle's teaching the rest of the class. I'm giving you a book. So you can just put your foot.
Oh, I love that book. Seriously.
So you can put your foot just as an anchor and just, you just find something. You don't have to use it. So you're flexing. Is that in my screen?
I don't know. It looks like a fan.
That's very funny. Someone has a fan in my screen.
Yeah, is it an act?
I have no clue. All right. Are you my number one fan?
Oh, probably.
All right, here we go. Other foot. So flexion of the toes, add that over pressure. It's very, very funny. Good. We're going for 10 reps. Get a little bit of that stretch. So flex and do a little bit of over pressure. Now, people have pain in the joint of the big toe. If you do have that, don't over force. We'll do 3 more. And it's just a gentle over pressure. All right, so now we're going to do the same. You can use your hand or you can use your strap. So you bring it, you can't reach. It's harder to hold the strap on your toes, so use your hands. So here we're going to stretch out the calves. So you're going to pull your foot back with its muscles, and you're just going to add in a little bit of stretch. Pull, your knee is bent, add in that stretch to stretch out the calves. Find a place. Now if you can't do it with your strap,
You can use a belt.
yeah,
Sensor.
or you could just bend it a bit more. So I find I can get a bit more pressure with my hands. It's a bit closer. So there's 2 ways of doing it. If your knee is bent, you're focusing on your soleus muscle. And if you're doing it like Michel, you're focusing on the gastrocs. You can do them both. 2 more and we're going to switch. I'm mixing up a bunch of different techniques today. Stretching, foam roll ball. See how you can mismatch everything. All right. So Michel killed our legs yesterday.
I did?
Voluntarily I joined. So pull, add. So any good workout needs a recovery. Do 4 more. All right, we're going to do the same now with your strap. If you don't have a strap, I'll show you the second option. We're going to do the hamstring. All right, everybody's favorite. I know it's not mine. So you're on your back. You bring your leg. There's no tension in my strap right now. I bring it, and then I just do a little over pressure. Bring it halfway down, and just do a little over pressure 10 times. Let's get some fluid in the back of the legs. So if you don't have your strap, you go, keep your knees straight and just add an over pressure with your hands. You can use your belt. It's very effective with the belt. How do you feel that, Michel?
Better and better.
Okay. So you do the active motion, and then you just do that little over pressure. 9, 10, switching legs. Might notice one tighter than the other.
Oh yeah, this one. Oh.
So active, add. Active, add. Active, add. You If you want to make it stretch even more, pull your toes towards you. Keep your knees straight, add, and then scream if it hurts. Ah. Keep on breathing. One more. Come back up. I said the feet are very, very important. So we're going to blind you with my legs. Michel forgot his sunglasses. All right, we got two things that you can do. You can use your ball, or you can use your thumb or your fingers. So we're just getting a little bit of blood flow at this area. It's the extensor of the big toe. At this area is the extensors of the toes. Okay, you can use your ball and just roll into it. If you go a little bit higher, it's your anterior tibialis. So if you don't have a ball, find the outside bone. You'll feel it, and then you just dig in. So roll on the inside and sort of just dig in and do some pressure on the inside. Just all along the tibia. Go a little higher, Michel. Start from the top there.
From there.
Yeah, okay. When you get to this area, you're working on your peroneus tertius. What is that? Some muscle that affects the foot. So you just dig in a little bit with your hand and massage. I find it more effective with my thumb. Whatever pressure you can get in there to get some blood flow and activate. Switch to your legs. Go on the other side. So Michel's doing advanced techniques on the soleus.
Sorry, it's from massage. As a massage therapist.
So you can use whatever you can get in. So you find that bone called your fibula. In French, it's called
It's fibula.
fibula. But there's another name for it, no?
Péroné.
Péroné. Father Ronnie. Père René.
Father Ronnie.
Yes, he's not allowed to be in church anymore. Church are closed. They can only do online services. Père René. So just massage it. Inside there. Now, to get the bottom of the feet working, you can use the ball. It's less effective because it sort of rolls. We want to work on the posterior tibialis. So you have your gastrocs here, and then deep to that hard bone, which is your tibia. On the other side, there's a thing called posterior, backwards, back, tibialis. So you can just use your foam roller and roll from about here on your leg to there, and just massage that out. If you want to have an overpressure, you can use your other leg and get in there. If you don't have a foam roller, you can just find the middle of your calf, contract your calf and put your thumb between the two calf muscles, relax it, and then just push into it and massage with your hand.
Très douloureux.
Just giving you different options to get those feet working. How long do I massage it for?
Until you feel good.
Yep. Other side.
Souvent, en massothérapie, c'est exactement ça qu'on fait. C'est quand On traite un client. Il n'y a pas une durée. On va être à l'écoute. On est à l'écoute avec nos mains. Quand on sent un relâchement du corps, c'est là qu'on peut commencer à penser à ralentir. Ça peut prendre 1 minute, 2 minutes, tout dépendamment du client. C'est la même chose avec votre corps. Écoutez-le. C'est à force de vous toucher que vous allez sentir la différence.
So pressing in, the side kills. So do you have to come out with black and blue legs after? If you want. But the goal is not to have a muscular contraction to push you off of off of the muscle. So go at your tolerance. You're going to be doing more harm than good if you overpress and say, wow, that feels so painful. Let your body react to the pressure, and then it will give.
Ce qu'on remet ça souvent, ce qu'on dit, c'est de commencer superficiel pour aller de plus en plus profond. Fait que le corps a le temps de s'habituer. Les récepteurs sensoriels vont être à l'écoute. Ils vont enlever un peu de tension. Ça va vous permettre d'aller un petit peu plus profond dans vos manœuvres. Moins douloureux.
All right. So we're going to do, for our next stretch, you're going to lie on your back. You're going to grab your other, you're going to, so say you're bringing up your right knee, grab your right knee at a 90-degree angle with your opposite arm, and you're just going to twist over
And show.
and keep your shoulder on the ground. So you're stretching your chest, you're stretching your glutes, you're breathing through that.
My spine crack.
Keep on doing that. Just checking if anybody had a question.
You can look up there too. Any questions?
No.
On Mike?
No questions.
C'est le temps, si vous avez des questions. On a peut-être votre réponse.
Looks like Lucas was our #1 fan.
Woo! Oh, that's the fun?
Yes. Lucas, you're funny. All right, other side. So keep your arm on the floor. And cross over. Get that stretch. You might feel it different in different places. So if you do a twist on one side, you might be feeling it more in the chest on one side versus the other side. And then lower back on one side or glute more on one side. If you're doing this and you feel a bit of a groin contraction, bring your leg a little lower. Don't go as high. Don't bring it as high. Bring it a little lower to respect the body. If there's a contraction, it means that the body doesn't want that. So find a place that it's okay with. Come out of that. All right. So we're going to do the splits. We're going to do a front splits. How do we do this? So bring one leg forward. You can either have your hands, I like to have them on the outsides.
Can also use like 2 yoga blocks on each side.
So you can, but we'll start with how do we get into this? So there's 2 parts of your splits. There's the front leg hamstring stretching, and then the groin on the other leg, the back leg stretching. So if you can't reach the ground, you can put something for height. As Michel said, yoga blocks, books. If you don't have yoga blocks.
You want some?
Nope, I'm good. I've got monkey arms.
Okay, sorry.
They reach the floor without bending my knees. So you can rock back and forth a little bit. And then if you want to get more of a stretch, you just either back up your knee or advance your heel. We got years before we can make Cirque du Soleil.
If we do it every day, maybe in a few weeks.
A few months. So you can just rock a little.
Oh, the fan is back. Hey, Lucas!
So how do we get out of this without crying? Just walk your back knee a little bit more forward. Good. Now bring your
Other leg.
second leg forward. And then I like to walk my back leg further back to get the stretch in the front at the same time.
Thanks for the fan. Helps to breathe.
Now if you want to just focus a little bit on your front leg, just bring your back knee in a bit and then just rock your back leg to stretch out that hamstring. And then the same, you can bring in your front knee a bit and just rock forward to get the groin. And if you want both the way, as they say in French, away.
Away, maison.
Good, come out of that. Slowly coming out of my stretch.
Faites attention quand vous étirez autant, quand vous commencez, puis vous allez chercher votre amplitude, puis quand vous revenez de votre amplitude, de prendre le temps de respirer et de revenir tranquillement pour éviter des blessures ou des claquages.
All right, this is called half fire log. So you're going to keep one leg out. You can keep it in if you want. I'd rather keep it out. And you're going to grab your opposite leg. You're going to try and sort of hug it. And you're just going to bring it into that position. You can just rock it like a little baby. Take care of your body, take care of your leg. How's that feel?
I'm going to fall asleep. Just kidding.
His leg is going to fall asleep.
Oh, me.
Coming out of that. There's something in our brains that say, choose the easier one first. Woof. Ah. A little harder this side.
The fan's still there. I'm sorry. Oh my God.
We're laughing because one of our watching people sent us a fan, and the fan is is going back and forth in our comments area. So you can extend, you can rock a little bit. You're working on the hips to stretch. Coming out of that, we're going to work on the 90 degree stretch, which is awesome for the pelvic floor, painful. So you go in at 90 degrees at your knee, 90 degrees at the hips. if you drew a line from this knee to the, this heel to the knee, it would create a square. So we're going to roll this hip to the floor. Again, I choose my easier one. When you roll that to the floor, so Michel, you can extend your knee a little bit. This one? That one, yeah. Unless, and try to keep it on the mat so it's not painful on there. Okay, so then the next thing is you rock. So they try and work that both butt cheeks or both sit bones are trying to get to the floor.
It's funny, I cannot turn.
Okay,
How it's
so
run.
put your hands on the ground.
I can't. I don't want to do this at ground. I don't know why.
And then you're just turning your body towards the outside knee, just because your hips are very tight. It's interesting. And then come out of that forward, unrotate. Dérotéter.
Oh, dérotéter.
All right, so same thing, 90-90. Make yourself tall, push that sit bone towards the floor, and then rotate your upper body towards the outside leg. Which one is the outside? I have no clue. This one.
The back one.
Yes. The one where the hip has a little bit of space between the floor and the hip. Let's see if Michel's memory is good. What do you call a hippie's wife?
Mississippi.
Yes. Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Aye. All right, let's come out of that. Okay, so you have your foam roller now again. We're moving up the chain. We're moving up the food chain to the glutes. All right, so we're going to give you different options. So if you don't have a foam roller, be patient. So if you do have a foam roller, you're sitting on your foam roller, and you're just going to rotate your body so it's angled. And then you're just going to dig in the hip. Don't go on the bone. You've got a bunch of muscles in this area. Glute max, glute medius, glute minimus, piriformis. Find the ones that feel the worst and give them some attention. So if you don't have that, you can choose a ball at home, and you can just go in there, make sure it doesn't slide away. You can sort of sit on the ball, use your arms to create the right pressure. The ball could be a little bit more pinpointed. And just get in there and use your hands so you're not jumping up like you're sitting on a fire. You don't want to overpressure. Okay, and switch sides. So remember, don't go on the bone. Ow, 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 ow. So normally I use the foam roller to get in there, but this is the first time I'm using the ball. Pretty effective. Aye. Aye. Hurts so good. Aye. Whew. So don't kill yourself. That's where my arms are supporting me. All right. Go a little bit longer. Michel, continue. I'm just going to check if anybody has any questions.
Sure.
Des questions, des questions.
Preguntas? Vamos, amigos.
No questions. No questions. All right.
Vous êtes pas curieux?
All right, continue with us. So we're going to do Quads, Michelle's going to show us how we do it on the wall. I'm going to show you
On the wall?
3 different ways. Yep, so bring your mat.
Yes.
I'm going to show you 4 different ways. 3 right now, and then add a different one. So, you bring one leg forward, if you're doing it just without a wall, and you're going to grab, you can walk, slide your hand, and grab your leg, slowly come up, and you're in your stretch.
Si vous utilisez le mur, ramenez le genou le plus proche possible du mur, selon votre capacité à vous, avec le pied à côté au mur. Par la suite, l'autre pied au sol, puis remontez tranquillement, selon vos capacités, votre limite à vous.
So Michelle's knee is very close to the wall, and I can assure that if some of you did that, you'd be screaming. So
If it's too much, you can put your knee like a few inches in front of the wall and do the same thing too, stay tall. But I know one side of my body it's more flexible, my left side. So I know I can do it.
So the goal is to get as tall as possible. You know, and there's also the other thing you can do is if it's too hard on your knee, avoid. You lie down, bring your bottom knee in, take your top leg, grab it, and work. It's a little bit less of a stretch, but you can still stretch it. Switching sides. So I've shown you three ways. I will show the 4th way after, a different way.
Honestly, it's better than I.
And you can make yourself taller. Now if you're in your stretch and this is how far you can go up, respect.
Respect.
R-E-S-P-C-T to your leg.
I will sit.
And then come up. So if you work through it. If you're doing these stretches at home, I would say the 3rd time, the 3rd round, you can choose the ones that you need the most. The 3rd round is the one where you're going to see that the fascia lets go, where it gives. So you're training your fascia. And you work through it slowly. You know that movie, How to Train Your Dragon? Well, there's a sequel called How to Train Your Fascia. There's not. All right. The last way, there's many ways of stretching out your quads. To keep your knees in line with your hips, and you're just tucking your tail and you're bringing your foot slightly, you rotate, and you bring your foot outside. So bend, rotate, grab, tuck your tail, and stretch. Make sure your hips are square. Square above. And come out of that. Bend, rotate, grab, tuck your tail, and notice if your one side is worse than the other. Worse or tighter. Let's not use negative words. And come out of that. So Michel wanted his, he asked me a question since nobody sent in any questions. said my lower back, how can we work on that? So take your foam roller, Michel,
Yes.
and just go right above the iliums. So your hip bones, just above at the L4, L5 region.
Yep.
And just rotate on one side. So get in that between the vertebra and the ilium.
Cool.
All right, so spend some time there. If you don't have a bazooka, just take your ball and just go in there and be mindful that you're not going to go on the spinous process. What is the spinous process? Those little things that stick out, your spine that sticks out. You can go in like an inch area and just massage in there. You can switch sides. So when you're using a ball, you're getting a much more pinpointed, harder pressure than if you're using a foam roller.
Hard? Yeah, I can't figure it.
So just don't press as much in. If this hurts too much, you can use a softer ball, even though I'm using a soft ball.
It's pretty hard.
It's very hard. Okay, coming out of that, I'm gonna do a couple of what we call eldoas, étirement longitudinal, décoartation ostéo-articulaire.
Do it again?
All right, so we're gonna start with feet apart. Okay, so your feet are sort of hips width apart. Your knees are bent. Okay, your knees are starting to go. You bend. You pull your toes towards you, not with your hands, with your muscular action. Push your knees towards the floor. Reach your spine to the sky. Your head to the sky as if a puppet master is pulling your head. Reach one hand up. Maintain everything. So you're pushing your knees down. Chin is in. You're reaching your head. Add the second hand in. Continue to elongate your spine. Continue to push your knees towards the floor. Continue to breathe. Continue to pull your toes towards you. Reaching your hands up. Lengthening your spine. Making yourself tall. Reaching. Knees towards the floor. Keep your head reaching, and now just take your hands and relax them. Take your spine and relax. And take your knees out of the equation. All right. We're going to work a little bit higher now. We're going to work on the ribs. I like mine with whiskey jack sauce.
Oh yeah, so good.
Intercostals. All right, so we're going to have one leg outstretched, knee, hip, and shoulder in alignment. And you're just going to reach with your head again, chin in, arm up, reaching. Keep reaching that hand and body. So if watch your rounding of watch that you're arching too much. You're stretching out the ribs on this side. This is les coteaux du lac. Keep on reaching. Your head is reaching. You're breathing. Your arm is reaching. And arm, body, something come out of that. things connected to the thing. All right, outstretched leg. All right, reaching your head long, reaching your arm long. Go long. The get along gang. Keep reaching your head to the sky, reaching your arm to the sky. If you want to make it stretch even more, reach, head reach, and breathe and push your belly out. It's going to pull all along here as you do that. Exhale. Arm relaxed, head relaxed, everything relaxed. Relax, don't do it. All right, you can have a seat on your knees. You can have a seat on your foam roller, whatever feels comfortable. You're gonna lengthen your spine, your head is tall, one arm is out, the other arm is in the tir à l'arc position, and you're going to maintain your spine, and you're just going to reach back with your bow and reach forward with your bow. You're pushing your bow forward and you're pulling the string of your bow.
Push pull.
And you're rotating on your spine. You're breathing and you're making yourself long at the same time. And then we're going the other way. And again the other way. You're maintaining your length of your spine to the ceiling. And other way. Keep your shoulder, the one that's pulling the bow backwards, keep that shoulder down. And now the other way again. Last one, both ways. And last one, reaching. And come out of that. Shoulders on fire. All right, have a seat with your legs closed. Legs crossed, I mean. All right. So you're seated nice and comfortably. If this hurts, you can raise the seat by sitting on a book, a yoga block. Okay? We're going to make ourselves nice and tall. Your chin is in. One arm is up. Reach the other arm. And we're going to reach without looking up and without looking down. We're reaching our arms to the ceiling. Although my arms are not straight, yours may be. You can work straightening out your elbows as high as you can. I'm working to that. Work with your breath. Feel your arms stretching. Keep on reaching them to the ceiling. Chin is in. Reach your head to the ceiling. Head is reaching to the ceiling and you're relaxing your arms. Coming out of that. How are you guys feeling at home right now? You're relaxed. This is my preparatory notes. Cub Scouts say, be prepared. All right, so you're on your stomach. And we're just doing a stretch of the abs or a cobra or a mini cobra. So you're going to squeeze your glutes and tuck your tail. And you're just going to come up. Shoulders stay down. You want to get a stretch in your abs. If you don't, go a little higher. If there's too much compression in your back, that's the furthest you go. And come out of that. So Michel's saying he's getting some cracks. You might hear a snap, crackle, pop. Which is completely fine. That's your body doing a self-adjustment. Free chiropractic adjustments. All right, so for this next one, you're lying to the government, on your side. All right, so you're lying on your side, your bottom knee is 90 degrees to your body. Bring your top knee with you, then just bring it across. You're supporting your bottom, your head with your bottom hand. You can put it behind. Sorry, you're not. You're taking your top hand and you're supporting your head, and you're just going to rotate open, maintaining this knee on the floor. Find your rotation. Now I want you to work with your breath. You're going to breathe in, push your belly out, exhale, pull your belly in. We're going for 10 breaths. Breathe in, pull your belly in, breathe in, push your belly out, pull your belly in, push your belly out, pull your belly in, breathe in, push your belly out, pull your belly in. As you feel like you can rotate more, go for it. Pull your belly in. Maintain that knee on the floor. One more breath. Come elbow in, back rotate in. Come out of that, switch sides. So lying on your side or lying to your government. Bring your bottom knee at 90 degrees. Top leg is over. Support your head with your top hand. This one maintains your knee on the ground. Find your rotation, max rotation, and now we start to breathe 10 times. Breathe in, push your belly out. Pull your belly in. Go with your breath. Exhale, pull your belly towards your spine. Breathe in, push your belly out. Four more breaths. Each time I'm rotating a little bit more, not because I'm forcing, but because my body's allowing. Bring your elbow in, rotate back in, come out of that. Getting a little lightheaded. It's okay, that's good. How are you feeling, Michel?
Yes, sir.
Relaxed?
Yeah.
How are we feeling at home? 2 thumbs up? No? All right.
Maybe.
Good, maybe. All right, so we're going to have a seat on your heels. If you can't have a seat on your heels, you can always put something between your legs and your butt and sit on that so it's relaxed. something, whatever it is, a couple of books, your foam roller, a rolled up yoga mat, towel, cat. All right, so we're reaching both arms out, and then one relaxes, reaching one, then one relaxes, then the other one crosses over to the side of it. And you're creating the letter C with your body. So you can overpressure a little bit out to the side. Keep pushing your hips back, and your hand is reaching out so your elbow is straight. What's your stomach? Yeah. See, Michel's stomach is growling because he's relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
Relax that. Reach with both. Let one relax. And start to walk the other one over. And you're crossing and you're reaching. Relax that, walk back to the center. Come back up. You just stretched out your lats. All right, we're getting to the end. We're getting there. We're going to do a 2-hour class today. So you put your feet wider than your hips. And your arms are reaching in front of you, and you're just going to round your back and reach your arms forward. And now you can take one arm and relax it, and you're going to rotate. Continue that pressure and rotate to your opposite foot. So you're pushing. Reach towards your foot. Coming out of that. Forward again, round. And then rotate and reach towards your other foot. Opposite foot again. You're maintaining that round position. You're pushing. And we're stretching just alongside your scapula, your omoplate, your chicken wing. Good, and relax, come out of that. Get undressed. Taking this off so I don't strangle myself because there's a hood. So we're going to take our foam roller. We're going to take your ball, start with the foam roller. So you're going to have a seat on your foam roller. We'll do both ball and foam roller, so patience. You're going to lie on your back on the foam roller. Your head is supported. Your hips are supported and your feet are wide. And you're just going to rock back and forth on your foam roller. And you're going to work between the muscles of your spine, between your scapulas, your paraspinal muscles. And you know you're going to be going over them when you hear bloop, because it's a massive muscle. So you go as far as possible. Watch that you're not just rotating as if you're looking to cross the street and seeing if there's traffic. You're sort of just rolling as if you're a plank on the foam roller, and it will give that extra pressure between the foam roller and your paraspinal muscles. You can do the same with your ball All right, so you just find a place, but you're just going to go up and down. It kills if you push too hard. So find the spots. Yeah, you can use your kids' baseball, softball, tennis ball,
Golf ball.
It's a little smaller, but
It's doable.
yeah. And you can stay on a point and just breathe through it. I'm going to switch sides. Sorry? So the ball might roll away, so just... Woo! Ay, ay, ay. So use whatever... Ay, ay, ay.
Use whatever. Is that a song? Steve's song.
Yes. So go into it gently. You can use the wall if the floor is too hard. So gently find that pressure, go in there. And just go back and forth about 1 centimeter to 1 inch. And until that area releases, you can go to another area. Find the call them the trigger points. I mentioned last time, there's a book called Trigger Point Therapy Workbook. Excellent if you want to self-massage, gives you guidance. Good, and relax. Michel loves it. He's using the sea urchin. That's all right. So our last one is foam roll horizontal. And we're going to do one more after that to finish off. Michel said again he wanted something for his lower back, so we'll finish off with a stretch along the wall. So you're just going to go with your foam roller horizontal, and then you just rotate a little bit and do the same. It's the same as using the ball, just a little bit less pressure, a little bit less like a needle in the muscle. Sorry, I lied.
You said it?
So the other exercise I'm adding in for Michel, this one it's part of my my schedule. So you interlace your fingers. All right, you're seated. You can do this at your chair, at your desk, at your computer, as you're watching right now. You don't need anything. You're going to place your hands, your interlaced fingers, on that bone right here called your occiput. You're going to make a little bit of a nod and a double chin. So you get some stretch in these suboccipital muscles. Okay, so you get that, find where it starts to stretch and your voice starts to change. You're teaching the class?
Mm-hmm.
All right, make a double chin, get that stretch, and now keep the pressure on your hands, not too much, and push your head into your hands while maintaining a double chin. And keep trying to nod, not over forcing to stretch out the back of the neck muscles. You can put your elbows in and just keep that double chin so you go down the spine. That one feels awesome. All right, so it's super, super important as we text and our heads go forward that these suboccipital muscles and all the ones, the spinal erectors in the neck, cervical spinal erectors, they all get tight. It's a great way to stretch that out. We're going to finish off with a legs up the wall stretch. So to show you that you can get it. No, it's good. It's good. Sorry for that noise. All right. So you're gonna find a place on the wall. You're going to get your hips close to the wall, and then you're gonna bring your legs up like a windshield wiper. Go ahead, Michel.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
All right. You're going to stretch out your legs, pull your toes towards. You're going to reach one arm over your head, your second arm over your head, and you're going to tuck in your chin. So you're reaching your heels towards the ceiling. Chin is in, lengthening your head of your spine, reaching your arms. Turn your knees slightly in while continue to reach the heels to the ceiling and the arms. And then you're going to push your tailbone to the floor while maintaining the heels to the ceiling. Maintain your internal rotation of your knees. Maintain the pressure reaching with your arms. Keep pushing your tailbone to the floor. Keep tucking in your chin. Your arms are lengthening. Your heels are pushing. Your knees are turning in. And then your last thing is you're pushing your tailbone to the floor. You're going to relax one arm. You're going to relax the second arm. Relax your leg. Relax your second leg. Engage your abs, so as if someone's going to punch you in the stomach, and it's just going to roll to one side. So roll to your side. Keep your abs engaged. Good. And we come out of that.
All right.
So that is it for today.
Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome. Thank you guys for joining us.